2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Mount Hawthorn or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning,
This
Natalie.
Show was packed full of guests.
Absolutely.
So many.
Now, Ross has been filling in for Nathan while he's away at the moment. Ross,
Yeah.
what a turnstile we had.
That was busy. The Prime Minister, as you guys were giving me heaps for earlier, wore jeans, but not a collar.
Black jeans. So
jeans.
they look like you were wearing dress pants from a distance.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was appropriate for the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Who crashed our interview with Gov.
He couldn't see your pants. You're behind the desk.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
I love the fact that you're thinking about showing respect, which is really
I know,
nice.
that's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
not enough to put a collar on, but a little bit. You were saying, your second day joining us, and you had to interview the Prime Minister.
I know. And it's so casual. Amy, our producer, yesterday was like, oh, man, the Prime Minister wants to go on the show tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Well,
And then I read Prime Minister articles.
Yeah, he's been doing his research. Did you read any Fatboy Slim articles?
No, I had that because I grew up with Fatboy Slim.
Yeah, he
Listening
did
to him.
join us this morning
He
too.
was lovely.
He was
Yeah,
great.
he's
He's really
just a
good,
delightful
actually.
man.
Yeah, definitely.
And of course, there's some footy happening this weekend, so we caught up with our West Coast Eagle, Jeremy McGovern.
Yeah, that was great. And Matthew Pavlich came into the studio as well. F1s as well. Tim
Yeah.
McDonald earlier on. That's how he started the morning.
He's
We had
such
to
a
fit everything in.
fangirl. He's a fangirl of F1, but loves it.
Recycle. Nathan, Nat and Sean love a good mix, just not between bins. Learn how to recycle right and more at wastesorted.wa.gov.au.
All right, we want you to be a great sort. So we're testing your recycled radio knowledge. Up for grabs is the $1,000 Rottnest Island experience. So nice prize. We're going to play you a snippet from the archives and then ask you a question about it.
Let's go to Chrissy from Bankshire Grove. Good morning to you, Chrissy.
Hang on, we'll get her up there.
All right,
Hi,
touch screen's
Chrissy.
down.
Touchscreen down. Hey, Chrissy.
All
Good
right,
morning.
Chrissy, we're going back in the archives to, what did we decide? This was 2021, 22?
While ago.
Hang on.
We're going to say 21. I'm going to just say
I think it was
that.
about 21. No, it was
19, Amy,
it was
could
after
be.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah. Are we going to say where it was?
Yes, we were in Bunbury with the Premier, actually, Mark McGowan at the time. We went on the Premier road trip. And just to set the context, our bus got broken into, so you mention of that.
It's really good.
Have a listen to this, Chrissy, and we'll ask you a question at the end of it. So they broke into 2 vehicles.
Yeah, and so we were waiting for the police to get there, and then it was so funny. We're just standing around having a chat, just waiting to leave Bunbury. And then I saw something on the ground, and I picked it up, and then I showed you guys.
What was it that Nathan picked up off the ground, Chrissy?
Oh my God, I can't remember.
Can I take a stab?
Was it a phone, mobile phone?
It was not a mobile phone. Thank you, Chrissy. I know, sorry. Daniel, hello.
Yes, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning, Daniel.
Dan, okay. Do you want to hear...
I remember this.
You do
You remember
remember
that?
You remember this?
Fantastic.
Yeah, I remember that trip and that conversation you guys had.
What did Nathan pick up?
Did he pick up a business card of some sort?
Absolutely not.
No.
So
Were
when
you
you
thinking
said...
about-
When you said you remembered it, Daniel,
On a broader sense.
Yeah.
right.
General.
He can confirm it did happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
We went
Sorry,
down to
Dan.
the dolphin place where we looked at all the stuff. and that,
That's
didn't we?
right. That's right. Sorry, Daniel. It was not a business card. Thank you. Kirsty, hello.
Hello, how you going?
Morning.
Hi,
All right,
Kirsty.
Kirsty, what did
I have
Nathan...
no idea.
Oh, take a guess then.
Let's go with a postcard.
I don't think this is
postcard.
one you can guess. I feel like it's too specific.
Broad.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we paint the picture again to our next caller, and it's going to be Nella.
Hello, Nella.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
Great, Nella. Okay, so Nathan bent over. It was actually when we were waiting to pick up a new bus. So we're in a rental car yard.
Yes, we were.
Open area. Nathan bent over and picked something up, and it was something that caught his eye, and it was so unusual that he made mention of it. It's not the sort of thing you would often see on the ground. Nella, what was it?
I've got no idea.
Thanks for calling, Nella.
Thanks, Nella.
No joy, I'm afraid, Nella. Okay, Denise is in charge. Hello, Denise.
Hello.
Hi, Denise. Have you got any idea what we may be looking for?
Oh, well, when you said it didn't catch his eye, I was thinking gun, but...
It was something dangerous.
Yes, you are on the right track. You're not right, but you're on the right track. You're the closest by far of anybody so far. Thank you, Denise. Penny's in Morley. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Penny.
Penny.
Morning.
Okay, so what did Nathan bend over and pick up off the ground?
Sorry, did the previous caller say gun?
She
Yes.
did say gun, yes.
Ah, okay, damn it, because that was my guess. I'm going to say toy gun.
Toy gun, no.
Toy gun. It was not a toy gun.
It was not a toy
was not a gun.
It wasn't a gun.
Was it an M16, bazooka? Nothing.
But gun is close.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're in the right. You're in the right zone. David's in Hillary's. Hello.
Good morning, how are you?
Good,
Great,
David.
Dave. All right. What did Nathan pick up off the ground in Bunbury?
It was a bullet.
Let's have a listen.
Guys, is this a live bullet? So I brought it over to everyone, and everyone went,
Yes, it is.
Yes, that is a live bullet.
And when he said everyone, that included a police officer.
Did too, yeah. Then he squeezed it and shot it
Yeah,
out of
that's
his hands.
right.
It was so
Exactly.
strong.
Well done,
Exactly.
David.
David, you've scored a Rottnest Island experience. That's valued at $1,000, Dave.
That's awesome, mate. I just booked a holiday over there, glamping or something, so now I've got another one.
Oh, you're doing the glamping, are you? That's fantastic.
Yeah.
This is you get $800 to spend at the lodge Wodgemup. So if you want
Awesome.
if you want a proper roof over your head,
Yeah. Apparently the kingfish with mussels is delicious there.
is that right? Good to know.
Expensive, but delicious.
All right, Dave.
Fantastic.
You
Awesome, thanks for that.
have a brilliant weekend, mate.
Good on you, Dave.
So it's played, everybody.
When are you going, Dave? Just incidentally, when are you going?
When am I going? I'm going in June, I think it is.
Oh, you have
Beautiful.
a winter
They had
getaway.
a special,
Yeah.
they had a special luxury escapes or something.
Yeah,
so,
they
yeah.
got specials,
nice.
luxury escapes.
Yeah. So a good start to my day. Thanks for that.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah, have a ripper.
Thank you very much. Thank you. See you later.
Isn't David lovely?
He's a lovely guy.
Oh, delightful.
And he's a winner.
Yeah, even better. That's why we like him.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Okay, the Formula One has hit Melbourne, as we know. We've been following all the action and all the publicity over this week. You can watch it, by the way, on Channel 10. Tim McDonald will be one of the greats we can talk to about the Formula One because he is the most passionate man in the world.
When we think F1 aficionado, we think that guy from the cheap seats.
Tim, good morning.
Tim.
When we think F1 gatecrasher, we think me. It's amazing to be here. I don't know how I managed to get past security. I don't even have a job this weekend. I'm just gatecrashing. I can't wait. It is the best 3 days of the year for a motorsport fan.
It does look like you've won a competition when you're on the F1 coverage, I'll be honest.
I do feel like a Make-A-Wish kid at some times, but it is a dream come true to be here with 400,000 fans, 2 Aussies on the grid, first race of the year. It is so exciting.
Oh, it certainly is, Tim. Hey, I recently have got a lanyard so then I can walk around various football stadiums to be able to go in any area. Now, you must have a lanyard like that to be able to walk around Albert Park?
Yes, and in Melbourne, the rule is if you've got a lanyard, a high-vis vest and a hard hat, you can get in anywhere. So thankfully, security haven't cottoned on. I haven't been kicked out yet, though it is only Friday. So there's every chance that by Sunday I might be out.
Tim, I've been looking at your Insta, and you do look like a fan there, but there's a lot of the stars in the background that I see you filming. Anyone particular you're excited about? Have you got any selfies, chatted with them?
Oh, fangirling, you're saying?
Yeah, fangirling.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, big time. I was lucky enough to speak to 2 of the drivers yesterday, Alex Albon and Ollie Behrman, 2 young rookies.
Yep.
They're amazing. It's Lewis Hamilton's first weekend at Ferrari. Everyone's trying to get close to him. I managed to get within 5 kilometres of him yesterday, so hopefully we're going to get a little bit closer. My selfie stick's not that long, so...
Ferraris are fast.
And, of course, Oscar Piastri, everybody's talking about him because he's got the burger named after him, so there's a lot of heat on him as well.
You know you've made it when you've got a grilled, special, limited release only burger. It's unbelievable. Genuinely, though, he is a real chance to win this weekend. We've never had an Aussie win the Australian Grand Prix. He's in the fastest car. there's every chance that he could be on the top step of the podium. So it might not be a burger, it may be a trophy, but either way, he's won this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting this season. There's probably about 6 guys who could take out the title this year. I mean, everyone's going to be on Max Verstappen's hammer, but having Lewis in a new car, obviously, Lando Norris with the McLaren the way he was going at the end of last season in particular, those guys took out the Constructors' Championship. But Oscar's that chance. I always feel, and we kind of mentioned this the other day, Tim, and you'd be all over this, that it seems like to me that Lando Norris is certainly the number one in that team. And I know that they had chances during the year where Oscar was in front and he had to let Lando go, and vice versa. That happened at the end where he got Oscar, that is, was able to go past Lando in one of the last races. But it does feel like he's
Still
almost up
2.
against the team.
He is. However, he can turn that around if he wins early. To be honest, they're both even at the start of the season, and it'll be after 5 or 6 races or so. Whoever's in front, the team usually get behind. So all Oscar has to do is beat Lando. If he wins this weekend and in the next few races, he really sets up for it. I agree. 6 drivers could win.
Yep.
But on Sunday, it's a 90% chance of rain, which usually means 20 guys can win. It really mixes it up.
Yep.
The action's going to be epic. We don't know how fast they are. This is the first race. So anything can happen. It all starts today, and then obviously qualifying Saturday, the race on Sunday, the after party Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Tim, did you go to Glamour on the Grid? That's turned into quite the date on the social scene in Melbourne.
Look, I did get an invite. It's a wonderful night full of the who's that of the Australian influencer community.
Yes.
And you look at someone and you go, are you one of the waiters or have you got 100,000 TikTok followers?
Or are you
no idea.
Beck Judd? We don't know.
I've got no idea. There were so many stars there. None of them you'd recognise.
That's right. Oh, they all recognise each other because they're looking at each other, spending the whole day just looking. I was that.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I reckon I was the only one at Glamour on the Grid wearing tarot cash. So it's never a good sign.
Nothing wrong with tarot cash.
I didn't belong, but we're here now, so it's all good.
Hey, Tim, when I've previously been to the F1s, one thing that lasted when I walked away and, a few days later was the fact that noise just kept going through my
the
head.
ringing
How
in
fast
your ears.
those cars go around bends and take off. It is amazing. It begins today. The guys get to zing around the track. That'll last for you, no doubt, as well.
Yeah, the noise, it rings in my head for the next 3 weeks. I can't hear anything my family says. Not always a bad thing. So the noise is amazing. The smell is incredible. Even the speed, when you're up here close, they're doing 100 k's an hour in pit lane. So when it looks like they're going slow on TV, they're absolutely fanging it. Although being Australia, I think we need a couple of tweaks. If it was really the Australian Grand Prix, we'd have 5 school zones, some roadworks, and an unfinished tunnel. So
100%.
It's not really like driving in Australia, but it's the next best thing.
Yeah, and some weird parking signs where you don't know if you have to buy a ticket or not.
Wouldn't that be great if they came into pit lane and then had to get out of the car to understand whether it's a tow zone, a loading zone, how long they're allowed to park? That'd be unbelievable.
And you know what the local rangers are like? They are
exactly.
onto it, mate. They're not letting anyone get through.
100%. Even if you're in a Formula One car, that wouldn't be enough. They'd still get out the ticket.
I know. Where do you put it?
Yeah, hard when there's no windscreen wiper on these things. Just stick it under.
Love your work, Tim. We look forward. It's going to be a massive weekend. And
For sure.
Right across Channel 10, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll be seeing a lot of you, I'm sure. Thanks for talking to us this morning.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. Enjoy the day.
Good on you, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
We were speaking before work this morning about things we've got on after today's play. Amy, our producer.
Good morning.
Hello.
Is off to a school shindig, Amy?
Yes, a school assembly today.
Yep. What's going on?
So I'll whisper this.
Okay. Yeah, you have to.
So
Because the person involved doesn't know, right?
That's right. Hopefully he's not listening. First certificate this morning.
And that's a big moment. How do you feel? How do you feel?
I'll get emotional when I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm okay now, but it's when you see them stand up there.
Oh, yeah, and they're so
like,
proud.
Year one. So
I know.
they're so tiny.
And then
I know.
then I said that my son got an equivalent certificate. He's 5. He's in pre-primary, and his was for sitting still and having his hands on his lap.
She's a low bar.
Oh, yeah, exactly, because they weren't on his doodle at that age.
Often are.
No, they were on his lap, so yeah, probably they were.
That's a win.
Amy, it's still fairly early in the term, so he must be one of the good kids. You know what I mean? It's not like they're getting late in the year and they've looked at the
that's
list
a
and
good
went,
point, Nat.
you haven't given one to everybody yet, and we'll make something up. Like, that is legit.
Yeah, or no one's doing anything good and they're just like,
Wow.
oh,
What do you think he might get it for? Like, snappiest dresser. He is a very sharply presented young boy. Like, he really cares about what he wears and stuff.
parent. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe his pen grip.
Oh,
so
okay.
Pencil grip. So
That's a deal.
he has a real random one.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
they've been
I'm in no
working on it.
position to
They've been
criticise.
working on it since the start of the year. So worse than that, Nat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's like bottom
So
fingers
he
are at
holds
the
it with
top
his
and-
feet.
Yeah, pretty much. So maybe that, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
It's
we'll
exciting
see.
nonetheless. Ross, you were talking about a trophy that
Yeah,
exists.
every day when we pick up the Ollie, one of the kids comes out with a giant trophy that's half their size with the biggest smile on their face. It's the kind trophy. So you do something kind, you get it, but Ollie's never got it, and he was, I want the kind trophy, and then you have to say like, oh, you would have
be
won
kind.
it if we were at home. But yeah, massive kind trophy. I think it's great because everyone
That
gets
is
pumped.
very cute.
But then people get left out. I'm waiting.
No, they don't,
but like,
because as Nat says, because the
they're gonna
teachers
work
have got the
through it.
list, right?
Yeah.
And you're right, Nat, because there's people down the bottom, you're scratching as a teacher.
Yeah.
What the hell am
And
I
then
going to
you
pick
just
out here?
Look for any tiny little kind thing that they might do.
Yeah.
Oh, look, they picked up that pen. Congratulations, you've done it.
You've
So
finally
you
done
know that he's not the best kid in the class if he gets the kindness trophy in November.
Yeah, at
right?
the end of the year. But he said, I just told him do kind things, and you.
Yeah, well, I
That's
mean, that
right.
is the key.
Yeah, for the kind trophy.
But also, you've got to do kind things publicly so everybody
I
sees
know.
them. Like, it's no point being kind if nobody's watching.
Be really
I mean,
loud
there
about
is
it.
in life, but when there's a trophy at stake, he's got to.
need help with the playground?
I'm helping you. You really got to think it through. Well, and
It's so cute.
there's been another milestone.
Yeah,
Amy.
just received a photo message from my husband, and James has lost his first tooth. Everybody, so that's exciting.
Big day.
Big day.
Amy, you're not even there. What a terrible mother.
Oh,
Work. Sean. She has
I
to
just
work.
knew that would work on her.
You are
You're
a
a monster.
horrible person. No surprises.
No kind trophy for you.
No, exactly.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Mount Hawthorn or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Flyaway Fridays with Transmusa.
Happy days. It is Flyaway Fridays with Transnusa Airlines. All week we've had people calling in telling us stories, and we promised that we would pick our favourite caller. And this particular caller we talked to earlier in the week, and she told us a terrible story about what her dog had done.
Yeah.
Her dog is a wolfhound staghound cross. Now, that is a big dog.
Yeah. It's in. They use it on the weekend for Pony Club.
And big dogs equal big messes from time to time, and that mess happened to happen on her bed while she was in it. That caller is Melissa in Willerton.
I don't know why that's my story.
Okay, Ross, what are you doing?
There we
Get rid
go.
of that.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, Melissa, hello.
Hello, how are you?
We're very good, Melissa. We are
the
very
background.
good. But are we as good as you?
Friday, woohoo!
Was that your dog barking in the background then?
That was the little one. The little one barks. The big one just eats couches and makes a mess.
So how big's the little one? Is the little one little?
She's a staffy.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Okay, that is, I mean, comparatively little to a wolfhound staghound cross.
That's right.
Your story touched us greatly, Melissa, and we want to give you return flights to Bali from Transnusa Airlines.
Oh, really?
Yes.
No, shush. Sorry.
Is that to us or that to the dogs?
Oh, my God, that is fantastic.
I know. How good is that? You're going to have to find somebody to look after those 2 crazy animals, though. You good for that?
That's
the dog's dad can look after it. It's my son. So it's my son's dog. He's a rescue dog. And, yes, he's just absolutely beautiful. He likes to lean against everyone. He likes to be right next to you. Like, he's right next to me now because he had to follow me into the bedroom to get away from Benji. Mummy, on a trip. And,
Mummy, on a trip.
We are onto our third... he's eaten 3 couches, so we are onto our other couch now.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah. He is well known on my Facebook group. Everyone follows his antics, so everyone's going to be excited that I'm justified in winning a trip.
Exactly. Finally, he's come good for you. And
my son better not come out and say, because he's planning a trip to Bali, he better not come out and say, hey, that's my trip with my dog that was on the radio.
Oh, no, you got to claim. No, this is definitely for you, Melissa.
And Melissa, you were the one who had to do all the laundry, so I think it's safe to say that these are your flights.
He can buy his tickets. Actually, if you check out Transnusa, everybody, by the way, they've got more room in the seats, so there's more leg room and stuff like that.
So if you're the human equivalent of a wolfhound, you've got room.
Yep, perfect. How good's that?
Taj definitely is, and it gets confusing at times because it's Sarge and Taj, so I have to make sure I pick the right one when I'm talking about the dog pooping and don't say that Taj poops.
So your son's called Taj and his dog's called Sarge.
That's correct.
Wow, they really thought that through, didn't they?
No, it was a rescue dog. Remember, Sarge was a rescue dog.
Oh, so he'd already been named.
Yeah. Yes. So definitely everybody, rescue dogs, go and rescue them instead of buying puppies. But,
well, it's paid for itself today.
You are a great advocate and you deserve it.
Well done, Mel.
Enjoy it, Mel.
Thank you so very much. Enjoy your weekend.
We'll do it again next Friday, everybody. Bring your best stories. You too could be like Melissa, jetting off with Transnusa Airlines. How good's that?
Can I win? I want to win.
I know.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Nat, I know you read this story, Ross. I'm not sure if you've come across this because you normally just stick into the paper, right?
Did you read the papers today?
I did read the paper this morning, but you just mentioned something and I didn't read this, so I could just be silent here, which is probably...
No, join in, mate. Okay. The people of Manjimup and Bridgetown are up in arms at the moment. Well, they're maybe not necessarily up in arms, but...
I think they're more disappointed than angry.
Why? It's good. Because Laura Robinson had taken over her husband's shuttle business.
Bus.
And he was running people around town for a fee.
He passed away, which is really tragic. And he passed away,
unfortunately, over a year ago. So Laura took up arms and she took on that role as running the shuttle.
Yeah, so it's essentially like a taxi service, but because in country towns, nobody does this. So it's really tricky if you are in the situation where you've had a few beers and you want to get home, or you've your car's broken down, or your car's getting serviced and you want to get home and get back again to pick it up. All of that sort of stuff that we don't think about because we've got Ubers and taxis if we want them. In country towns, you don't have that luxury.
That one person would know everyone in the town and they would be relied on so heavily.
Can you imagine the drunk secrets she knows?
Let's get her. Let's get her on. This would be amazing. So she decided, as Natalie said to me off air, she decided to go and live her life, which she should do in different ways. You know, if you've been down, everyone's been down south in Dunsborough a few times when you get on the blower from Cave's house because everyone's had a Sunday session. There's this guy that looks like the doctor out of... the mad scientist out of Back to the Future. Yep. And I see him out surfing all the time. Anyway, when you jump in his shuttle, he just charges everyone a set fee between $15 and $20. So he has like 10 people in his car. It's $200 a go. Yeah. And just drives them home and then goes back and gets the next lob of people.
And you're that happy to get home, you don't care. Like $20, that seems decent, but you're right. He's got 10 people in there, so he's just made $200 for half an hour's work.
Yeah.
It's not bad if you can do it.
Absolutely. Unfortunately for the people in Manjimup, they have to use their bike, Nat, and we know what happens if you're riding home from the pub.
Don't do it after a few rosés because you'll fall off and break your arm and then not realise it's broken and just keep walking around with a broken arm until you go, I think my arm's broken, and then you get it scanned again because the x-rays didn't show it up. I mean, it's just a hypothetical. But it definitely did happen to me. It's coming good, though. Luckily, it's not my drinking arm. That's this arm.
That's right.
What could go wrong?
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Here he is, everybody. Officially, the Prime Minister is in the house, not just crashing interviews with our West Coast Eagle. Welcome back.
Good to be here.
You were at the door sticking your tongue out before.
Yes.
I wouldn't have been doing that.
That would be very un-Prime Ministerial. What are you talking about, Ross?
I was just saying g'day, waving.
Yeah, that's very friend. That's how he met Jodie.
Yes,
Ross.
that's right. Just
the lovely
like his tongue
Jodie.
out at her.
You have already spoken to Jodie this morning.
I have. I texted her early to say good morning, and she rang me back. And it was, I did say after a while, it's actually 3:30 here, so...
So you got up at 3:30 this morning because of the time, like your body's in that,
My body wakes up before 6 every day, and it did today too. So
it's brutal.
That happens, and it actually, I find if you're here for a couple of nights, which I am this time, I'll go back over east tomorrow, it makes more sense to keep on East Coast time. So I went to bed pretty early last night.
The 3-hour time difference at the moment, really.
Yeah,
it's hard, doesn't
I had
it?
dinner at like 5.
You got a pensioner discount though, so that was amazing.
You caught up with Roger Cook yesterday.
I did catch up with Cookie.
I know you had the media there, but then they left. Do you ever have like personal discussions with him?
Oh, absolutely, because we've known each other since before either of us were in politics.
What do you talk about?
We talk about footy, we talk about the campaign, talk about what he's going to do. We talk about,
Did you get some tips from him? Because he did pretty well.
He did well, Rog.
Better than expected, actually.
He romped him. Well, I expected a pretty good result for him.
We didn't think he was going to lose, but we thought that the opposition might do a little. There'd be a correction from the last, more of a correction from the last election.
I think most of the media expected that, but he's been a good government, and they got a plan, and it's basically we're in lockstep. He's got a future made in WA. I've got a future made in Australia.
Yes, manufacturing is a big thing.
Today we've got a big $750 million announcement here at Curtin University. It's about making steel, green steel and green aluminium here, green metals, and that is spot on with what his agenda is. Renewables, backed by gas, powering jobs, powering manufacturing here, making us more resilient. And we've received a reminder this week why that is necessary.
So we're talking about the tariffs that are going to be imposed by the Trump administration.
That's right.
Now, you've spoken to him, obviously, and pleaded our case. And
look,
it's not done in stone yet.
Well, it kind of is. They've been very clear, and I've had 2 conversations with him. They're of the view that tariffs somehow are the most beautiful word in the English language, according to him. The truth is that it's an act of economic self-harm. Tariffs increase costs for Americans who are buying those products. And so we don't think it is in the US's interest or in Australia's interest.
Their stock market agrees by what's been going on.
The stock market agrees. And people who are buying those products will agree too when they realise that, in fact, it is a tax on them that then goes to their government. But it doesn't make sense. We'll continue to argue our case. We'll do it constructively and respectfully.
The opposition is saying that you haven't defended our position enough and haven't gone hard enough. But you really don't have any bargaining power if they've said... This applies to everybody, no exceptions.
2 points there. One is last time round they did exemptions, not just for Australia, for a range of countries, all got these exemptions. This time round they've said no exemptions. Doesn't matter who they've spoken to, who they've met. This is slapped right across the board. That's point one. Second point is, when the world throws challenges at us, I will always have Australia's back. Peter Dutton will always turn his back on Australia. He has had a choice in the last few days of whether he stands up for Australia or stands up for the Trump administration, which has put these costs on every country in the world, and he has chosen not to stand up for Australia. It is beyond belief how he can argue that his commentary helps Australia in arguing our case to the United States. It clearly undermines it because he never, ever wants the best for Australia. He wants the worst for Australia because he thinks it's better for him.
Do you think it's fair, though, that, and these comments came before, but you've got Kevin Rudd, who's an ambassador to America, who said stuff about Trump, and he is a human being that does not forget when somebody disses him. That can't be helpful either.
Well, have a look at what J.D. Vance has had to say.
Well, Cookie then said something about
him.
And I'm a big fan of Rogers, but
But, people say things. J.D. Vance has the Vice President of the United States. He said things that are far harsher
about Trump.
Trump.
So he was very anti-Trump before he was selected as the vice presidential nomination. Yeah,
and he said harsher things than any Australian has said.
And he's been welcomed back into the fold for sure. So you're right.
Absolutely, he's now the VP.
Yeah.
So
it's a good point.
I think that those things go through to the Cooper, frankly. Kevin is working really hard, and it says something about the importance we place in the relationship that we've got a former Prime Minister as our ambassador.
On the other side of things that's happening at the moment, because we always talk about the US, and Donald Trump will always be in the news because he's selling papers, right? He's saying weird-ass stuff all the time, and he's making statements, and he's pissing off everyone, for want of a better term. China threw massive tariffs on us as well, on terms of meat, barley, crayfish,
wine,
the whole lot.
lobsters,
Wine, like way
Just
more
bans.
than 25%.
Oh, absolutely.
Plus, they're doing bog laps around Australia with their frigates and stuff. That surely has to be more concerning.
Well, China, we fixed the relationship.
Yeah.
What we did was there were tariffs on Australia or straight bans on issues like lobster.
Yeah.
That's so important
just
for a
halted
place like
imports
Geraldton.
altogether,
They just stopped it. Full stop, exclamation mark.
I mean, everybody got cheap crayfish for Christmas that year.
They did.
Yeah.
They
Look
did.
at Sean, it's actually this guy. Look at him.
Back of the truck, my friend.
They were $20.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, back of the boat.
In Marrickville, let me tell you.
Yeah.
At my little wholesale outlet there in Marrickville in Sydney. But, we fixed that.
Yeah.
Through diplomacy, through the work that we've done.
So what about the security concern, though, that we were, we all saw the boats?
Look, we have boats in the South China Sea, and we do exercises all the time.
No, but they did exercises around our entire coast. Like, what's that about?
We do exercises in the South China Sea, in the Taiwan Straits, etc. What they wanted, I'm sure, from us, was from us to say, no, you're not allowed to do that, and then they would say, in international
that escalated.
That was accordance with international law. What we say is that we support international law. We put in a strong protest about the live fire exercise that they did. They did that in international waters, but we think they should have given far more notice. That's what we do when we're in their region of the world. But the relationship is far improved. There wasn't, of course, I brought the Chinese Premier here to WA, of course, last year. That was well received.
Lobster for dinner?
We did have lobster for lunch, and that helped. I sat next to the Premier and said, this is pretty good, isn't it? You want some of this, and you want some of the WA wine as well, which is all great quality. And that's jobs for Australia.
Yes.
My job is to support Australia's national interest, to support good relations with everyone across the board when it comes to economic relations. We have a different political system from China, so we're going to have differences with them.
Yes.
We'll talk about that honestly and in a straight way, and that's what we've done.
Albo, I really like what you were talking to Jeremy McGovern about when he was just in here a second ago, and keeping the main thing the main thing. So in polling and in politics, a month ago, everyone was saying that Labor Party are under pressure. That's your government. They're under pressure, and the Liberals have, I don't know, maybe surged ahead might be the wrong term. But then, yesterday I think it was, and the polls come out and they change, and it's all in a matter of moments.
An interest rate cut happens, which is great timing, that kind of stuff,
And it's all, frankly, it's 1% here or 1% there, which doesn't matter. You can't be focused on whether you're on, as a poll today, we're on 51.
Yeah.
If we're on 49, does it really matter at this stage in the cycle?
And polls are notoriously small numbers of, small sample
sizes. What matters is when people go into a polling booth and put numbers next to names.
When is that going to happen?
And that will happen in May.
Do we know which
when
weekend?
That happens,
there's 3 weekends it could happen, right?
There are 17th and working back.
Which one do you think we should set aside?
We'll wait and see how we go. We'll do a budget on March 25. But when people put numbers next to people's names, they'll know that my government has got inflation down, has got wages up, 1.15 million jobs, is managing the economy well, that we've got a plan for aged care that we're implementing. We've put nurses back into aged care. We're making childcare cheaper. We've increased wages of childcare workers, aged care workers. We're dealing with the challenge of climate change and making more things here in Australia. And the alternative, they'll have to focus up on is nuclear energy sometime in the 2040s. It'll cost $600 billion. Free lunch for some that all your listeners will have to pay for of $20,000 and cuts to pay for this nuclear fantasy. That they are the options that they'll have, and that's why I'm confident that when people put numbers next to names, they'll do what they did for the Cook government, which is to say they deserve another term, and the other mob simply aren't ready. They're not ready for government, and Peter Dutton has shown that this week. He had a chance to look like a leader, to be bipartisan, and once again, he just chose to not stand up for Australia, but to play politics.
We do have to let you go, but we did note that you rolled up your sleeves and went into the face of the cyclone when clearly lessons were learnt from the Scott Morrison bushfires episode when he went on holidays to Hawaii. But what was it like up there? I mean, obviously there's a lot of people very much still impacted by the floods and damage that was caused by that storm.
They are still impacted, and we have increased disaster relief going up there. So what happened on that day? Peter Dutton flew out of Queensland and I flew in.
Right.
I flew up to Sydney in the morning. We did a big announcement. I had a meeting with Chris Minns, the New South Wales Premier, because it impacted northern New South Wales severely as well. And we did a big schools funding agreement, $4.5 billion. Had other meetings during the day. I did have a fundraiser during that day, but then flew up, had a meeting with Premier Crisafulli that night, and then attended the meeting of the disaster coordination authority that took place the next morning, and then cancelled everything else that we had. I was due to be over here for the election.
Right.
I was going to be with Roger on the
there was a lot of chatter that you were going to call the election, and then this cyclone started hovering, and you went, obviously we've got to wait and sort that out.
We were just focused. I spent all my time either in southeast Queensland, in northern New South Wales, or at the National Situation Room in Canberra, making sure that we did what we could.
Yes.
You can never do these things perfectly.
Can't turn the weather around, but
the effort of the three governments working hand in hand in partnership was incredibly positive, and I have a good relationship with both the premiers, one Labor, one Liberal, doesn't matter. There were no politics involved here, no borders. We just got on with it, and just a shout out to all the SES and volunteers. At the worst of times, we always see the best of the Australian character.
True. It is true.
And we did that.
Yeah.
Good on you, mate.
Thanks for coming in. I'm sure we'll be seeing you again.
Fantastic. So
in the lead
next
up to
Friday,
May.
Same time.
Footy chat will get the governor in.
Footy report. You might get a rugby league team over here too.
Actually, we got one shortly.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks, Albo.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Mount Hawthorn or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Fatboy Slim himself, Norman Cook. Welcome.
Welcome, Norman.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You obviously, we were talking off air about the fact that you've been following the Prime Minister. He's been following you, actually.
Yes.
Prime Minister of Australia's been following you around local radio stations.
I saw someone sent me a clip of him DJing.
Yes.
Trying to mix right here, right now. So he's a cool sounding Prime Minister.
Yeah, he loves his music. He's right into it.
How'd he go at it? Was he any good?
I seemed to be. I was just. I can't critique his mixing. I was just. The Prime Minister was playing one of my tunes.
And as far as Prime Minister's DJing goes, I mean, he's probably up there against other Prime Ministers.
Well, I had violin lessons with the English Prime Minister at school, so.
Really?
Wow.
I dropped that one in. Yeah.
Hang on, wait, what?
The new.
So you went
Keir Starmer.
You went to school with
I was in his class at school for 5 years. And which is really, it's weird for both of us because when he started singing my name, he's like, "That's Cook. That's Cook from 5K."
Yeah.
And then so I've been watching his sort of rise, and
That's wild.
Weird getting texts off the Prime Minister.
I know. Yeah. That's amazing.
Very different paths.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. Do you play the violin?
We didn't know you went to school. No.
Yeah, so what stuff were you doing at music at school then?
I did music O level because I knew I wanted to be in pop music, but music O level was like classical stuff.
Oh yeah. So that's like the
it's
final year high school, or
that was
year 10 kind of thing?
O level.
Yeah, right.
GCSE.
Yeah.
But it was all classical stuff. It was pretty dull. But I learned some compositional theory and stuff like that.
So you can play the violin, and what else?
No, I actually forgotten that I played the violin. I think it was like one term, and my parents just couldn't stand the noise.
It is learning the violin is tough.
That was funny. It was Keir who actually reminded me. He went on. He was doing something. They said tell us something he wouldn't know, and he went, "Oh, I used to play violin with Fatboy Slim." So I'd completely forgotten that I played the violin.
Yeah.
I was more of a guitar and keyboards man.
Yeah, right.
You know,
I did grade 5 piano.
Yeah, okay.
We were talking about, I mean, everyone's been asked their favourite Fatboy Slim song, and a lot of us come up with Praise You straight away, right? So, because the film clip really stood out at this time, which is amazing, Ross had a different take on his. I want to hear...
This was my favourite.
Huge song.
Yeah, huge. And I'm a bit embarrassed to say this, but when I was in high school, I used to listen to this song on Discman and picture myself standing up to the bully and say, right here. His eyes are concerned.
He never did it, but he pictured himself doing it.
Thank you.
That's really beautiful. No, because the thing is, both those tunes are kind of like memes. Like, obviously, Praise You like works whether it's like a relationship or a sports team, and that whole we've come along a long way together. But right here, right now, it's like one of those memes. It's like it means everything and yet nothing. It's like it doesn't actually mean anything, but it instills, like a lot of like my football team comes out to it, and I still get goosebumps. So it sort of means, but that you standing up to a bully, I mean that's beautiful.
He didn't do it.
It was just in my head.
In my head.
It's probably just where would have got a crap beaten out.
He was way bigger.
No, but the fact that it inspired you in that way,
it did. I'd listen to it.
I mean, that is the beauty of music. That sometimes things that you didn't intend it that way. It can inspire you. I love that.
So thank you. I felt great.
Probably just as well that you didn't.
Yeah, no.
Look at this beautiful face. Your team, it's Brighton, right?
Yeah.
Are you the Seagulls?
Yeah.
I always find that it's not really an animal that's going to scare you.
Yeah.
You know when you think about...
You haven't messed with Brighton Seagulls.
They love a chip.
They love... No, they'll have it out of your hand. They'll have it. No, the Brighton Seagulls are really pretty...
aggressive.
Feral. They're like, they've learned over the years how to mug tourists, basically. So if you're a Brightonian, you eat your chips in a certain way with your hand over the top.
That's how you can pick a local.
Don't mess with Brighton.
Okay, I'll write that down now. I remember that.
My team is Albion. Brighton Hove Albion.
Langley Park tonight. You were here last year in Perth, and I know you don't have much downtime. You said you want to get some sunshine, but any Perth places you've been or checked out while you've been here in Perth, or?
Not really. The nature of Perth is that it's either the first or the last show in an Australian trip, which either means I've just arrived with jet lag and every available moment is sleeping, or it's at the end of a tour
and you're tired,
I'm absolutely knackered, in which case every available moment is sleeping. But so I've never really felt like I've explored the...
So this is the beginning.
We wandered down to Fremantle.
Oh yeah, nice.
That's our hood, had lunch down there, and that was quite nice.
Fish and chips, mate. Seagulls are plenty.
Yeah, they won't see. That's not a seagull.
Get beaten up by Brighton Seagull.
But I should spend more time. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about my job is I get to travel around the world and see beautiful places, meet people, make friends, have parties with huge amounts of people, and it's really beautiful. The downside is I never really get a chance to see the real place or your local beauty spots or whatever. Occasionally we'll go to a museum. If we got a day off, we'll go to a museum or botanical gardens or something like that.
Yeah. But you play in beautiful spots and stuff as well, because you play in, after this you're off to Barrel, you were telling us, to play at a winery tomorrow.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I sort of come here every couple of years.
Yeah.
And we'd like to change it around a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played Red Hill Auditorium three times, then I moved on to the park. So you're trying not to repeat yourself. So this time, we just thought doing the wineries.
Mix it up.
Well, yeah, it gives it a different atmosphere because it's kind of...
It seems classier, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know about classy. I mean, it's kind of... it's more sort of all ages. It's less, clubby, and you get a different atmosphere, and we can do a different thing. But it's just trying to change it up so you don't play the same venues every year.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going to ask you just mentioned about, the downtime or partying or stuff like that. How much has your partying changed over the decades?
Well, I'm 16 years sober, so I don't do that kind
Well, there you go.
I do not do that kind of partying anymore.
Must have been intense in its day.
Oh, Christ. It was
Can you remember having a good time?
I remember I had a very, very good time, yes. No, it was really messy. No, I don't. I get all my kicks out of doing the gigs. I did 106 shows last year, so during those shows and around those shows, I feel like I'm part of the party. I don't feel like I had to have a drink while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But no, my idea of partying is to go and watch my football team. Or, I don't. On my nights off, I don't hang around in nightclubs.
But you're a nighttime. It's a nighttime thing, DJing, and it can be late nights and that kind of thing. When do you sleep? Like, is your body clock all over the place between travelling and playing these nighttime gigs?
Much.
And
I did some judicious afternoon napping.
Yeah, I mean, so do we. To be fair,
I often have a little nap before my daughter gets home from school.
Yeah, nice. And do you still do like a season in Ibiza or anything like that?
Yeah.
That must be big for you.
I don't do the whole season anymore. That's quite a commitment.
Yeah.
But we always have our family holiday, and that normally it's a family holiday, but it involves about 6 shows.
It's a tax-deductible family holiday, yeah.
Well, I see it more that we have a lovely big villa up in the north of the island where it's quiet.
Yes.
And there's like 14 of there's like 4 families. We always that's our thing. But
how nice.
And then I just have to nip down, play for a few hours, and then that pays for it.
But those few hours, is that like 2 a.m? Is that? Or are you playing like afternoon shows now, like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
I wish. No, prime time in Ibiza is 3 till 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And I refuse to go on after 4. Because that's just... Well, it's for my age. I mean, what do you do? Do you go to bed and wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, what do you do?
Because it's not like I'm going to hang around till 4 a.m. in the morning,
Yeah.
So, but no, in Ibiza, 3 till 5 that's the headline slot.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I know, sure. Can you imagine? You'd be in all sorts.
But that's better than Argentina. Argentina, 6 till 8 is the headline
Prime
slot.
time. AM.
That's the big slot. By that time, everybody's got there, apparently.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, how big's the crowd you've played in Argentina? I'd imagine it's massive.
Yeah, I'm having a bit of a moment in Argentina.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Well, it's funny because things come and go in waves.
Yeah,
I had a Brazilian time about 20 years ago.
Yes.
I had a very big Japanese thing. I've got a very constant Australian thing.
Yeah.
That's been a constant, but some come kind of go. But the last couple of years in Mexico and Argentina, they've just been going nuts. And
they're on board.
About sort of the same size as I'm doing here, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And is Brighton Beach still the biggest you've ever done? That 250,000 people at that free gig? Is that still the biggest?
No, I did Rio. I did Flamengo Beach in Rio. That was like 360.
That's crazy. Does that blow your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. Blows your mind and it makes your knees go a bit wobbly.
Yeah, they're all there for you. That is amazing.
Try not to think about that.
Yeah.
You probably should try and picture them all naked so you don't get...
Well, in Brazil,
a lot of them are, That wasn't hard.
That's a lot of breasts and genitals.
Yeah. Not a lot of hair.
That's what, 840,000. Oh, no.
That's a lot.
Yes, it's lovely to do it. But you know what? I actually enjoy the smaller gigs more.
Yes.
The big gigs, they're a big thrill, and it's great to have the kudos of doing it.
Yeah.
But I have to work quite hard. I have to, to keep that crowd, and you have to play the classics.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Everybody's saying, I much prefer. I'm playing Revs in Melbourne next week.
Yeah, right. Revolver. Yeah.
Dirty, filthy late night club.
Yes, it is.
I get my kicks in there because I can really mess about and I don't have to take it too seriously.
Yeah, and you're taking in a bit of the Grand Prix as well?
I'm doing the Grand Prix as well, yeah. But at the end, I'll have to have my wits about me trying to translate what I do to a Grand Prix crowd. We were just having a conversation this morning about how many of the swear words I should take out of the set for the Grand Prix set.
Oh, yes, they're very prim and proper.
Well, I don't know.
Are they though?
I've been watching that Drive to Surprise.
Survive.
Oh, it's a great show.
Drive to Survive. I've been watching that with my daughter. Yeah. There's quite a lot of profanity in that.
I think you'll be all right.
They're not going to be too shocked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we love your work. People are absolutely frothing the fact they're playing Langley Park tonight.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great word, frothing.
Yeah, you can still get tickets, believe it or not.
Get along.
Frontiertouring.com. That'd be the very last tickets in town. But Norman Cook, Fatboy Slim, thank you so much for coming in.
Well, thanks for having me.
I mean, your jet lag is our gain because it means you're up and about early.
Thanks for putting the word frothing into it.
You're welcome.
I'm going to be thinking that all afternoon.
You can use that as my gift to you.
I can't wait for this evening's froth.
Yeah, they'll be frothing you. Don't worry about that.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
You were made to meet halfway. Expedia were made to plan where halfway is. Expedia, made to travel.
Auckland, LA, Vegas.
Oh my God.
Nova's Red Room Global Tour, powered by Expedia.
Nova's Red Room. Let's go. Let me hear ya. Listen to Jelly Roll's single, Liar, out now.
You ain't nothing but a liar.
Oh, yeah, you want a piece of this. We are talking Nova's Red Room Global Tour, powered by Expedia. There is a lot happening.
Absolutely, Nat. We're kicking things off an exclusive Nova's Red Room. That'll be in Sydney, Ross.
Yeah.
Mystery guests in Sydney. Gracie Abrams live in Auckland. LA to see Dean Lewis, and everyone's excited about Vegas. That's where Jelly Roll and Post Malone will be.
How good is that? Now, we have told you repeatedly that if you want a piece of this, you need to enter online or via the Nova Player app now. The first winner is going to be announced this afternoon by Ricky Lee, Tim and Joel. So you've got to be in it to win it. And this young lady is now in it. Cherie, hello.
Oh, hello, Nat.
Cherie,
You're in it.
You're in today's draw. How good.
I'm so excited. Like, I'm shaking. I cannot express how excited I am.
Oh, man. You know what? A lot of people say sometimes, I'm never going to win it. But most people don't get in it to start with.
Right.
You're there, front and square.
Yeah. And Cherie, this is the sort of thing, money can't buy this. Like, you can't buy a ticket to this.
No.
This is all, curated by us.
Definitely not in today's economy.
No.
Oh, no way.
Even if you could afford it, there's no tickets for sale for this. So this is amazing.
Invite only.
Invite only. And Cherie, we hope that you get the call this afternoon. Have your phone handy, okay?
I will do. Thank you so very much.
Good on you, Cherie. Have a lovely day.
Too good. All right. So Ricky Lee, Tim and Joel, if you want to hear the winner this afternoon, but keep entering.
Next week,
there's
next Friday, then the week after that, then the week after that.
Keep going.
Week after that.
I know, right?
Are we done?
Are we done?
We're done.
Yeah, we're done.
We came in here this morning and I remember looking at the list of people and you're thinking, how the hell are we going to get through this show? You said, Natalie, this would go in an instance.
Absolutely. When we have a lot of guests in studio, it really gets really fast. And we have had a lot of guests in studio. What? So we've had two footballers. So we had Jeremy McGovern and Matthew Pavlich. We had the Prime Minister. We had Fatboy Slim.
And the Prime Minister crashed Gov's interview, which was
and we also talked F1 with Tim McDonald as well. It's a lot.
I even forgot about that part.
We've had a lot on. If you missed any of that, the Nathan, Nat and Sean Daily podcast this week and catch up on it all.
God, I'm going to need a rub down after this. Nat, are you doing anything?
Don't look at me.
Hey, Shawnee.
Hey, Ross.
Ross will give you a rub
Just
down.
be gentle.
Truso, hello.
Aren't you swimming to a Rottnest or partly tomorrow, Sean?
Absolutely, I am. Yep.
Big weekend.
I'm exhausted already.
Big weekend still. So good luck with that. Good luck to the Dockers team. I know you guys taking on the old Eagles. And favourite part of this morning, I have to say, was Albo and Jeremy McGovern talking about Harley Reid. I don't know how you managed to sneak in a Harley Reid question.
Of course we did.
But you did it, guys. So
contractually obliged.
Yeah, you snuck it in.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, Reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Mount Hawthorn or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.